if I lost you there or if your mic is on. So anyway, it looks like your mic was on. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I'm back. Okay, I'm just watching the stupid yen. Stop yen. Anytime you want to stop. Yen's back to where I sold it earlier. So, I can hear you, Paul. You there? Paul? Hold on really quick. Paul?
Yeah, I had the mic on, but I just muted myself.
Okay, I was wondering what the hell. All right, hold on. Sorry, I'm just looking to do a couple of trades here.
I think the euro is shortable on the move up to 1170, 1171.
Yeah, I'm you think up to here? Up to 71?
Yeah, because if they want to squeeze them a little bit higher, I've got 76 and 89, but a touch up to 70 will get out the last of the scalp shorts. I actually got long on the 6E, and then I got short on the, I'm actually short on the spot, but I got long on the 6E, and then I just jumped out of that, and I'm just going to see whatever it does.
Yeah,
So,
I've got a euro. I got the euro dollar short at 44, and then I'm long the euro Canadian, so that they're just kind of null. They're just kind of.
well, as a scalp, I joined you on that because I thought they might just drop because they were trying to run out of gas. And when it didn't look like they were trying to run out of gas, I just went long the 6E. And then it kind of sat there and did a whole bunch of nothing. And then finally on this gun up above 50, I got out of my 6E long, but I still have my euro scalp short. But it's very small, but I'll be adding it at 1170. 71
So,
to be specific.
got it, got it. Yeah, and let's see here. We have the. Hold on, I'm going to figure out where this. I'm looking at the euro dollar right now. Anyway, the 88% is at 64. We're about there, which may be it. Man, I don't like how it's spiking up like this. I mean, that's a pretty, that's a pretty strong move for the euro.
Well, yeah, but you have to figure all those people that kept trying to tag it, and it kept going up to 20 and then falling back or in the teens. And this morning it got up to 29, taking out the highs by 3 pips and fell all the way back to 1087, then rallied. So it's just like the same situation with the yen yesterday. I was advocating shorting against 528 to 43. But come on, folks, after it falls 100 pips, do you think 528 and 43 is going to hold? Hell no, because there are going to be stops above that. That's why I told people, hey, that kicks up the bar to around 555. And so then when we got up to 575, 585, I said, hey, this is a good area. And we fell back about, 40 pips. So it's the same thing with the euro. If you keep testing it, the stops build. Once you explode past it, like a rice pot blowing the top off, the more it sits there cooking, when the top blows off, it's going to blow off. But I think the euro can run out of gas around 1170.
All right, cool. Thanks, Paul. Hey, I'm gonna get this analysis out of the way. So, thank you, man, and we'll see you. We'll see you a little bit later. Your mic has got a pretty bad echo, by the way, FYI. Okay. All right. Good morning, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge, and I was just going over to the euro dollar here. Let me just show you the euro. So we pushed. We're at the 88% retracement right here, which is 64. But we obviously got we've got to mark up the 100% retracement, which is also 161% extension from this move. Comes in at 111.85. That's obviously going to be really, really key resistance at this point. I'm gonna push my stop right above those highs just because I don't want to risk much more than 112. So I don't mind being short here, but like I said, I've got a euro Canadian long, which is compensating for my euro dollar short. So it's like I'm kind of hedged at this point. But that's going to be resistance up here. Now, markets can overshoot, obviously, and that's what we might be seeing right now. This is an extremely volatile environment, so we're seeing a lot of whipping around. So you just have to be very careful. So there's the euro. Let's go take a look at the cable. The pound Okay, ripped up to 135, and I'll tell you this. Okay, if you go back to, you have to go out to the weekly chart. You have to go back to 2009, right? 2009, the low here was 135 even. All right. Today's high, okay, today's high is 134.73. So I'm going to write down 135 as being resistance. I really don't think we'll make it up there today, but you never know. I mean, 135, that's going to be obviously very key resistance. Now, as far as I mean, I have to put us back in a range right now because it's been such a sharp rally. And with the Bank of England staying on hold, it's going to keep. There's going to be a bid in the. There's going to be in the pound on dips. There will be now. All right. So where can we dip to? We got to figure that out. And by the way, for those of you that were asking me about Amir yesterday, he actually just texted me. So just I'll have to read it a little bit later. Amir Dul Ashahi, some of you, that'll ring a bell for some of you guys. He just was texting me. I got 3 texts from him just now. All right, so let's figure out where support is. For support for the cable, ooh, geez. It'd have to be right here, right? 133.30, because that was the breakout point. Now, wait a second. Did we just drop? We dropped past that, didn't we? We did. $133. I'm going to write down 133 as being support today. Anybody who's bullish does not want to see that level give up. Okay, 133. All right, that's going to be key for today. It's a lot of volatility, obviously, in the cable. You don't want to see this go if you're bullish. That means if you're if you're long the pound, like I mean pound Aussie, pound New Zealand. I wish I was. I had an order to sell my pound New Zealand at 188. But when I got tripped, man, dude, that was a nice one. Okay, anyway, just as long as the pound dollar is above 133, you're any cross rates that you're trading, it's fine. Just remember, if you drop below 133, it's probably going to take this bullish spin off the pound. All right, so just be careful with that. Let's go over to and the pound's coming down a little bit. Let's go over to the Swissy. I was long some Swissy overnight. I got stopped out. When it came to 75. Right, we had a Garley pattern. I should have listened to the analysis that Nick did on the Swissy, but we basically had a Garley. Now let's figure out where we might have some support here. Problem is if equities come down, this thing might come under some pressure. So. All right, so we're at the 618. That spike low is going to be significant. That spike low is 97.60. So that's significant. If for those of you that were like, oh well, I want to be long some, I want to be long some dollar Swiss, your stop should be underneath there. I don't think you should risk more than that, because if it breaks below 97. 97.60, it will probably be, it's probably going to be it's probably going to drop quite a bit. So, and you have to also keep in mind that you have, with the dollar yen moving around, the Swissy could move in sympathy quite a bit. All right, just keep that in mind. All right, rallies should be capped. Anything back up at 98.20. Okay, 98.20. That'll be resistance. We are still in a range. Now, one of the things the Swissy, let me go back here really quick. gotta check something. Yeah, it was a failed breakout attempt to the upside. Or, I don't know. It's not, trend lines are not very readable there. Anyway, that should be pretty important support for today. It's choppy. I tried trading it. It's really difficult to trade right now. All right, let's take a look at the dollar yen. Okay, so the dollar yen, 105.50. This is a big resistance. Now, if you guys don't know how big it is, you have to go all the way back to, you can see how huge the 105.50 is, and we're there. You can say, oh, we're above it, Blake. I know, but it's not about being above or below right now. It's about being at it. It's a zone. The 105.50 zone, which we're at right now, yes, we're 16 pips above it, but it's basically a zone. This is just a bit here. Let's get rid of all these fibs. This is a big resistance where we're at, all through here. All right, this whole area. All right, and that's why I'm already selling some yen pairs. I've sold some Aussie yen, Canadian yen, New Zealand yen, and dollar yen. All right, and I don't mind being in the yen pairs at these prices as long as we stay, probably below the highs. We get above the highs, and I'm gonna have to get out, and we start getting above 106. But Amir's still texting me, guys. I'm gonna have to read this to you guys before I go on break. So just to read you all the texts here. He texted me like 5 texts already. So anyway, this is going to be big resistance. So I'm going to mark up the highs as 105.93. That's going to be significant. That should not be taken out, because if that gets taken out, I have to close short. So I'm going to be specific on that number. Support right now, if anybody who's bullish the yen pairs or bearish yen, they do not want to see 104 give up, because if we see 104 give up, that's going to be a pretty bearish event. Because this is, I want to put that as significant here. I know that's a lot of leeway, but what we have right now is we're actually trying to work a flag pattern, which, by the way, this flag pattern actually points to a lot higher if we really decide to blast higher. So we have to note it, right? It looks something like this, okay? All right, so if you get a failure here, now if you get a failure here in like in the dollar yen, that's going to be, it's obviously going to be a very bearish event, especially if it comes back down through here through 104. It should follow through. But then again, you look at U.S. equities and you go, the U.S. equity markets look a little wobbly up here. So, you know what? Hold on. I got to see something really quick. I might sell some Aussie New Zealand here. I've not sold it yet. I'm going to stay with it. Okay, sorry guys. Back to where we were talking about. What were we talking about? Dollar yen. Okay, we're in a range now with the dollar yen, unfortunately. Dollar Canadian. Let's talk about the CAD. So the CAD, this currency, I actually got out of the dollar Canadian yesterday afternoon. I got out of it at 80, so up here, late in the day, like after the New York session. I got out of my long, I am still long the Euro Canadian, which is doing okay. The dollar Canadian, I felt like it was probably going to come back under pressure, especially with crude oil, because crude wasn't backing away. And so if crude wasn't going to it really, if it was done going down, it was going to bounce, which I figured it was overnight. I didn't want to be long the dollar Canadian. All right, we just did, and this is important to note, and because I shorted the Canadian yen, which means that I think that the Canadian can bounce from here. Okay, let me remove that for a second. We just had 161% extension. So the lows here at 129.05, that's important for today. 1.2905. Rally should be capped on moves back up to 129.90. Okay. And we are still obviously in our range here. I mean, look at the big range that we're in. We tried to make a breakout up top here in the what I thought was a pennant, but looking at it, this ends up being, this might end up being more of a wedge. So, which could be, it could be a very bearish event too, especially if we come down and break through this trend line down here. That does concern me, and so you got to be just a little careful if you're, short the Canadian, especially if we come breaking through here, right? So I'm going to go back and put this fib back on, just so you guys can see it. Okay. Let's go to the New Zealand. Here's the New Zealand dollar. Okay, let's get rid of these fibs really quick. So the Kiwi. This has been one that I think you have to note today. We have a strong rally in risk. You got Dow futures up 150 points. All right. You've got the Kiwi dollar down 66 pips. All right. This is for the Kiwi dollar. You got to be thinking, oh shoot, why is it not rallying with risk? You see the Aussie up, you see the Canadian stronger. Why is the Kiwi not stronger? That doesn't spell that doesn't bode well for the Kiwi in general. Okay, and what I think is in play is this channel. So I shorted the Kiwi twice above 73 cents yesterday. I only took like 15 pips out of it each time, but I felt real confident about shorting it above there. I just didn't stick with it. But what that signals us is how important this resistance is, how important the 73 cent level is. Now we're already testing 72 cents, which is this right here. But this should be. I'm not short the Kiwi right now. I'm short the New Zealand yen, but this should be a double or triple top measured as, okay? Which means that takes us all the way back down here. But I think you got to wait for some follow through. You're gonna have to see some dollar strength come across, and hit the Aussie, knock the Aussie down. The Canadian's gonna have to rally. You're gonna have to see something like that. Right now, let's figure out this this low is very significant, 71.93. If we break, I'm just going to write 71.90. If we break 71.90, that puts that double top in play, triple top, whatever you want to call it. Range extension takes us down here, all right? So the Kiwi is walking a very, very fine line today, in my opinion. Okay. This area, things are a little messy today, so you kind of got to give a little bit of, got to give a little leeway to some of this stuff. The 72.50, big resistance, okay, for today. We are still in a range. God, I hate this range environment that we're in. Okay. When I come back, we'll do the rest. So be right back, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hi, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Okay, so real quick before we jump back in it. So the pound is all the way back up to almost 134. Let's see how that move is faring. Just because it should start to settle down a little bit pretty soon. So let's tempting not to short it here, but I'm not going to. I think I'm going to leave the cable alone today. Unless the pound rallies up to like 134.50, I think I would take a shot at it up there. I just don't know if I can do it right at this moment in time. You know what I mean? Just little nervous trying to short the cable up here, even though I shorted it right around 134 on the way down, but that was, you know, here on the way down. I don't know about doing it right now. Okay, let's go over to the Aussie. So the Aussie has been strong today, but it looks like a lot of the attention is not here. So we're back at the 76.50, which is, you know, it looks like we're just wedging right into resistance. Hold on, let me let's go out to a daily really quick. Okay, let's delete this. Let's remove that really quick, and let's just look at this. This is a very simple view of the Aussie, but I think it's a appropriate view. Let's move that up a little. Okay, so 76.60, and right now it's just 76. I mean, we're wedging. 76, and it's a bullish wedge. 76.60. That's key resistance. All right. If global equity markets, I'm going to put a range, but we're about ready to make a bullish upside break here. You know, so just keep that in mind. The Aussie would have to drop all the way below 76 to really turn this back lower. And I guess if you look at the daily, I mean, we are pretty much in a range, but you know, we could spike up to 77 and change, possibly, quite possibly. Anyway, all right, where am I at? That was the Aussie. Let's go over to the dollar index. So the dollar index got hit. Okay. We're going to have to, let me go out to a daily chart really quick on the dollar index. Let me get rid of this line really fast. It's not relevant at the moment, so I can get rid of it. Let's get rid of this for a second. Let's go out to the 4-hour. All right. So we cracked this upsloping trend line. That means, and let me get rid of these. Let's see here for a second. Okay, so we're past the 618 in the dollar. That doesn't bode well for the dollar. No, it's around here. So just there's a spike low right here at 95.80. I'm going to make sure that that's the price. 95.83. So I'm going to write down 95.80. Okay. Because if we break that, we're at 95.86 right now. We break this spike low right here. Right here. Okay. If we break that low, that's not going to bode well for the dollar. I mean, the dollar could come all the way back down towards the support. Resistance today is going to be at 96, maybe 96.10. I mean, and the dollar looks weak, man. It looks really, really weak. Okay. I mean, we're in a range, obviously, but it looks weak for today. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's go over to the peso. Now, the peso, I was long some peso. I got stopped out. But I went and got long again right at the 88% retracement right here. Now, following the Bank of England, it ripped up and then came right back down again. And this is just all risk aversion, risk appetite. But it's just a ton of support down here, all the way down to 8. We'll call it 811. 810. 18, sorry, 10. Okay. And resistance is at 1844. 1844. Oops. Chop suey. I hate being in a range environment. Man, I hate it. All right. Here's the Norwegian krona. So Norwegian krona broke at 618. I think this opens some doors to the downside here. And with crude oil bouncing, we could actually come down a little bit more. We're really approaching support right now, but 833.50 looks like it could be hit pretty easily. Okay, it's not even major support. That's just some support. Any rally back to today's highs is going to find resistance. 841. It's probably people that are stuck along the U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. It's like I just want out, you know. Swedish krona. So we're about ready to hit that. This is 845 is support. It's also the Gartley support we had yesterday. I wasn't sure if we were going to get down there, but looks like we will. 845. Wait, hold on. That's significant. It's at 850. All right. So now let me. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Look at the bias chart today. What does the bias chart tell you about the current environment? Choppy, stay away, don't trade, range. It's total range trading environment. Guys, you gotta look for these ranges, and you gotta look for like the edge of the ranges and trade them that way. You know, this is the time you probably don't want to be too directional. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I'm quick to get stopped out. I'm also quick to take profits. You know what I mean? So, Andrew says we're in summer mode, right? I mean, it's just, you know, I get in a profit, I'll take it. You know, not like a, you know, I'll let it stretch a little bit, but I'm not going to be sitting here looking at the euro saying, okay, I'm shorting the euro right now and I'm expecting a move to parity. That's just not the environment we're in right now. You know, or, you know, hey, the pound just got to 135. We're going to 145 next week. You know, you have to keep your expectations in check when you're in this type of environment. And it's summer too, so which just tops it all off. So I'm quick to take losses. I'm quick to take profits. All right. I'm not going to stick around. I'm not going to sit in a, you know, in the